Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So what the purpose of tonight's virtually sharing will be purely how we're going to stack our virtually light trail pictures that we took yesterday, or some of the light trail pictures that you guys took in the past year. So some of this shot was taken before sunset, right? So yesterday's sunset wasn't really fantastic. It's just a bit of blue sky, not much of color. So these are the shots that are actually taken right before the sunset. So there are shots actually taken during sunset or after. Yeah. So for example, this is like after the sunset. It's a little bit bright. Then you can start to see that the color from not the color, the lights from the building start to appear, start to come out. Yeah. So when the light getting darker, then you will see that most of the buildings, the lights are a lot more, but the sky is going to be darker and darker, so you don't get to see much of clouds. But the light trail itself will become better and better when the sky is getting darker. Obviously, the light trail will be a lot more prominent, a lot more better, yeah, compared to the light trail before. During the sunset or right after the sunset. The idea here is that there are two things that normally for me I would do is, if you look at the picture before the sunset, for example this shot, so I can see the buildings clearly, I can see the sky clearly, I can see the trees. These are all very clear, right? Because it's still bright, the light is still bright, so we can still see most of the things. And the light trails are not that prominent, so the light trail is just a little bit of red line and yellow line, right? So if I were to use this shot, it would not be that interesting because it's still a daytime. So normally what I'm going to do is that I will select one shot during the daytime, which I can still see the building, I can still see the trees, and then I will take another few more shots during the nighttime, which is going to be more of the light trail. So, and we're going to combine them we're going to stack them in Photoshop. So that is what we are going to do tonight. Can get the idea? Yeah. So example, I'm going to make use of this shot. Okay, the software I'm using now is actually Lightroom. All these pictures are open in Lightroom, but later on, because of the stacking, I need to send all these pictures or pictures that I love. I need to send it to the Photoshop to do the stacking. So once it's stacked, then I'll come back to Lightroom again to do the editing.
Michael, sorry to interrupt. How many minutes are this photo in Photoshop?
How many minutes?
Yeah.
You're talking about this particular one on the screen is just about
0.8.
0.8. Yeah, 0.8 second. Yeah, 0.8 second. Just a very short duration. So I'm going to use this shot. Okay, selecting the shot or selecting the raw file that you want to use in Lightroom, you can always use this method. Since I'm taking like 100 over pictures, obviously I'm not going to stack all the 100 over pictures. I only stack pictures that I think that is going to be useful or it's going to be the final shots, right? So in this case, I'm going to select is that if I want this particular picture, the one on the screen, you can always right click. You can always give a rating. Right click, give a rating. You see, there's a rating of 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 5 star. So the pictures that I wanted to use for stacking, usually I will give it as 5 star. That means that this particular picture I really like it, then I will send it to Photoshop later. So next picture that I'm going to have 5 star is maybe not this one. This is. Do you think this is good? Maybe okay. So this is what I'm trying to say is that right click, set star rating, then I give it as 5 star. The picture that I want to send it to Photoshop. Okay. So once I've done all these selection, 5 star selections, what I can do is that down here, this one, okay, you can see here that 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star down here. Can you see my mouse pointer? Yeah, so I can just choose 5 star. So all the pictures that with 5 star that I selected, they will be sorted on the timeline, right? So I don't see the rest of the picture anymore. I only have the picture that I selected earlier. So this was my first picture I selected, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay, so these are the 6 pictures. So now is the time that before I send it to Photoshop, I will review again one more time. Obviously, I need this one, the one that before during the sunset, where we can still see the building, the trees. Then I need one that need fuel actually after the sunset, where the sky getting darker. So maybe I'll keep some of this. Which one is better, this one or this one? And maybe I remove this one. So maybe I do not want this to be 5 star. I do remove this. I just set the rating back to none. So that picture will be disappear. So now I left only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is that select all the 5 pictures, right click in Lightroom, and then we edit it in Photoshop as layer, open as layer in Photoshop. This workflow only works if you have a Lightroom and Photoshop. So now all the 5 pictures been sending to Photoshop, and Photoshop will try to open them one by one. And once the pictures been opened, it will be displayed on the left, on our right side down here as a layer. So you can see that this Photoshop, just a little bit, yeah, down here has got 5 layers. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. You can post them. You can see that. So this is the first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth, and fifth. So there are 5 layers here. Okay, first thing you need to do is that select all the 5 pictures, then go to the Photoshop menu called Edit, then auto align the layers. Okay, this step is important, auto align layers, because during the shoot, we probably accidentally move our camera a little bit, or we probably accidentally kick our tripod. So if you have a small little movement, the picture will not be aligned properly. But with this function, auto align layers in Photoshop, literally what the Photoshop will do is that you will check all the layers that have been selected, then look for the pixels and make sure that they are matching. So any pictures that actually misaligned, you will try to align it back, or so auto align layers. Auto align layers, they have auto perspective for large and things like that. Normally I will just leave it as auto, and let's let the Photoshop do the works. It won't be long, it should be just a few seconds. Yeah. Is my screen okay now? Can you see everything? Okay, so now it has been aligned. So once it's been aligned, you look at the edges, it seems to be quite okay. That means that I don't have much problem with this picture. But if you look at the right side of the photo, there's a little bit of white line. That means that one of the frames actually has a slight misaligned. Yeah. So I don't know which one. There's one of the frame that actually has got a little bit of misaligned. Hit on screen again. Okay, so these are the 5 layers. Okay, now the magic happened. Okay, how are we going to stack them? There are many ways of stacking all these pictures. I mean, all these layers. The brightest layer can leave it on the top, or you also can move the brightest layer to the bottom. Doesn't matter. So for me, I think I leave it at the bottom. So the brightest layer at the bottom, then followed by the rest of the layers, right? Okay, now I will show you the fastest way to stack them. Usually what people will do is that they'll just select all the layers and then change the blend mode. You see the normal, this is the this is the blending mode. The blending mode, I'm talking about method 1. So we are changing the blending mode from normal to lighten. So once you change normal to lighten, you can see that all the light trails from the 5 layers, they will all merge together, or they will all stack together. You notice that? Yep. If I change it back to normal, you only have one picture. This is only light trail for that particular frame. But the moment I choose all the 5 layers and change the blend mode to lighten, and seriously, that's all only we need to do, and job done. You get all the light trails. You get the trees, the brightness of the trees and the building before the sunset, and seriously, you also get the sky. If you think that this is good enough for you, you can stop here and then send it back to Lightroom. So send it back to Lightroom is actually pretty simple. Just go to File and Save. That will go back to Lightroom. This is the easiest method to stack all the light trails. Okay, so once it's saved, it should go back to Lightroom, and I should have an extra file in Lightroom. So this extra files in Lightroom is called edit dash with the tip file. with the tip, we call it extension. So any picture that has been stacked by Photoshop or has been processed in Photoshop, the final pictures that sent back to Lightroom will have an extension with the extension.eif tip. So this is the tip file that we are talking about. So once it's in Lightroom, obviously we can do all the processing in Lightroom as usual. Okay. So but today I will show you the second method of stacking, not only just the blend mode. The second method of stacking is, let's move this back to normal first. Normal, yeah. So these are all the 5 layers that we have, and they are all in normal blending mode, so no change, just like before. Okay, second method is actually, again, you highlight all the 5 layers, or highlight all the 5 pictures, select all the 5 pictures, and you go to edit. Earlier on we do the auto align layers. Now we go to the second one. We choose the auto blend layers. So let the software do the job. Yeah. So for blending function in Photoshop, there are two purposes. One actually is to stack the image, which we are going to do shortly. Second function is actually panorama. Remember, some of the outing that we actually tried panorama from left. So we actually tried one picture on the on the far left, then slowly another picture to the far right. So all these pictures, a series of all these pictures can be stacked using the panorama function here. Okay. So but for tonight, we just look at stack images. Simple. Just press OK. Nothing much. And see the result. This stacking method that I just showed you is the same method that that if you use focus stacking. Use focus stacking, like you are shooting a macro or you're shooting some inset, your focus stack from front to the back. So once you have all the images, you are using the same method to to do the stacking. Yeah. So how do you find this picture compared to the picture that we use the blend mode lighten? Was it better or was it about the same? Let me compare. Let me give you a comparison. Yeah. So this is the one that we use the stacking function in Photoshop. Not this one that we need to compare. I'll just put it side by side. Too small. Yeah, roughly. Which one is better, you think? Any idea? Which one is better?
The second method.
The second method better. Why do you say so?
Colors are better.
Colors better, okay.
Maybe the screen on the right, the line like not so clear like that.
Okay, I agree with you. So the first method that we use, the lighten blend mode, you can see that there are extra things that have been introduced to the picture. For example, the white spot here. Do you see my pointer, my cursor? Yeah. So like this part, there's the little patches of white. Don't know where it's coming from. I think it's probably from the bars. Then there's also another few more patches of white here on the light trail. I'm talking about the light trail itself. Yeah, there's some white patch. Then we also compare to the second method. Let me just bring back the screen again. You think that, you will see that the picture is pretty clean. Yeah, so my light trail, I don't have that white patches here, and I have all the lines and they are pretty clean. So yeah, if you have Photoshop, maybe just use the second method. I think it's a lot more better. And then you look at the contrast of the trees. Look at the trees, they are not as bright as before the sunset. Let me show you. The picture before sunset is supposed to be this brightness. This is about the trees before the sunset or during the sunset. But after the stacks, you notice that the trees actually blend some of the shadow from the night scene. So the trees are not completely bright. So they have actually that kind of night scene effects. Similarly, go to the building. The building has got the lights, but you can still see the buildings and the sky. Okay, so this is the second method of stacking. But after we stack this picture, because it's a combination of shot during the sunset, right after the sunset, and few shot actually into the night, right? Because we choose 5 shots. So one shot was during the sunset, which is the shot. Then one is actually immediately during the twilight. We can still see the blue sky or the blue hour. And then there are 3 more shots actually to the night where we don't see the sky anymore. The sky is completely dark. So after we stack, we get this picture. But do you think that this picture is realistic or acceptable for light trail scene?
I think
This is the second question that we need to ask ourselves, isn't it? Obviously, this is not realistic. Okay, let's go back to our Lightroom again. This is not realistic because of, I'm not saying not realistic, it's realistic, but the light trail itself is not prominent, right? Because the trees, the buildings are all still bright, the sky is still bright, and then we still see a bit of light trail. And compared to this shot, the light trail is prominent. It's very, I mean, you can see the whole circular, everything looks good, but the building and the trees are all gone. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tree is completely dark, completely, you can't really see the trees at all. So they are all just black patches of things there. Yeah. So the building itself, you can see the lights, but you don't see the structure of the building. So do you like this kind of scene as a light trail, or do you like the scene that been produced by the Photoshop scene? This is the question now. This is the important question now.
Can we make the sky darker?
Yes, obviously we can make the sky darker. We can make the rest, I mean, a little bit more towards the night scene. Obviously we can do that, yeah.
Okay, I
So-
think it's
Because there are photographers think that no, this picture may not be realistic as a light trail because it's too bright. Definitely it's too bright, right? Even though we stack everything, it still looks too bright. But we have all the details. We have all the details from the trees, from the buildings, from the sky. Everything is there. Compared to the one that if it's a single shot, I mean, this is a single shot. If some photographer thinks that this could be the best shot. So, but if you use this shot, you can't see much of the trees, and your sky probably is just a blue sky or dark sky, right? So for me personally, I will definitely go with shot before or during the sunset, then with the shot that right after the sunset and few shots towards the night. So this is what we are producing tonight. Sorry, not this screen. Yeah. So this is what we are producing in Photoshop. Okay. So for me, I will go for this kind of stacking. That means that picture before, during, and after. Let's save this one, and I will show you how I process it in Lightroom. Let me just save this. So far, any question about the stacking, the 2 method of stacking? Actually, there's one more method which, if got time, I will share with you that method. Okay, done, So let's go back to Lightroom, and we're going to process this picture. Okay. So, Veron, what do you think that I should do first? And you are more experienced in editing, I guess, here.
darken the sky lah.
Okay, first thing you will do the sky, right? Yes, okay.
And
Anything
later
else that you
darken the building.
darken the building?
Yeah.
Sam Chong is here, okay. Hello, Sam. Can you hear me, yeah? Okay, we just get ourselves started. So you will darken the sky, you will darken the building. Yeah, anything else that we're going to do?
And a bit on the. In fact, whole picture has to be darkened actually.
Okay, whole picture has been darkened. Okay, any other flaws in this picture? Any other flaws, technical flaw? I mean, the rest people you can always chip in, yeah.
And the building is not straight lah.
Okay, very good. We are just looking at the technical flaw first before we look at the, apart from the scene itself is too bright, right? Okay.
Yeah, the building is enough lah.
Okay, building is not straight. That definitely a technical flaw. Any other technical flaw apart from building not straight?
Can't see it. That's all.
That's all. So you are pretty satisfied with the whole scene apart from the building is not straight.
Picture was the cut off bit.
Okay.
You should
Yeah.
add like cut off.
Mhm.
It's either
Yeah.
you hold it or you have the whole bridge. Is what I think lah.
Okay, it's very good. Okay, I think you're right. The building itself is not straight, and how we're going to make it straighten now before we do the editing. Okay, before we do anything, how we going to make this straighten. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to correct the buildings and make sure that the buildings, because it's a wide angle lens and the camera or our lens is actually pointing down, obviously we'll get that kind of distortion. So the building at the side, will be just kind of like sticking out to the left and right. Yeah. So the building in the middle seems to be okay. So how I'm going to show you how you're going to correct it in Photoshop, right? Yeah. Go back to Photoshop again. Edit this in Photoshop. Yeah. So this is the important steps. That how we're going to correct the buildings. Okay. So collecting the building, building corrections, the distortion, lens distortion. What we can do here is there are few ways people will do. Easiest way is people may probably go to. Let me see. Okay, before I do anything, I will make a layer. I will make a duplicate the layers just to let you see the comparison before and after. To duplicate layer in Photoshop, few ways. There are two ways. One is drag the layer to the plus sign, and then you get extra layers. Okay, or I'll just delete this layer. The second method is just right click the layer and then duplicate layer, then you get extra layers. Okay, background copy. So that is going to be my new layer, second layer. Duplicating the layer just pretty much just to make sure that if we corrupted the layer that we are working with, at least we still have one backup layer underneath. And that's one reason. Second reason is to whatever that you edit on the copy layer, you can always compare with the layers that you can always compare with the files that the original layer. You can always do a comparison before edit and after edit. Okay, so the what we're going to do now is actually building corrections, right? Okay, simple. We're going to make use of the camera raw features in Photoshop. Click the layers that the latest layer that we duplicated. Go to filter. Go to camera raw filter. Yeah, camera raw filter is pretty much like our Lightroom, but it's a simplified version of Lightroom. That means that their features, camera raw features are pretty basics. So Lightroom itself has got a lot more features compared to camera raw. But if you just want to do a simple editing, camera raw is good enough. But you want to do advanced editing and you do not want to use much of Photoshop, obviously Lightroom will be more beneficial. So that's the difference between camera raw and Lightroom. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that once I open up the camera raw, I'm not going to do all this editing here, but I'm just use the camera raw to correct the buildings, to make the building straight. So to do that, we just have to go to geometry, this function. Sorry, last one. The second last, geometry. Okay, so geometry, so they have vertical, they have horizontal, they have rotate, they have aspect. So in this case, I will probably do the vertical. I'll show you. So if I push the vertical bar towards the left side, you can see that the building a lot more compared to the one before, right? So what I need to do is that I push the vertical slider towards the right, and you start to see that the building will get straightened. Is it straight enough? Okay. If it's, there's a grid line that actually guides us whether the building is actually straight enough or not. Yeah. So I think it's around here. That will give us the building on the left and the right looks okay. So once done that, I will just press the OK button. Okay, so done. Okay, so this is the picture that that has been corrected in camera raw, and the buildings it looks pretty straight. But what happened here is that we lost the sky, we lost the background, right? Because once we apply the the geometry settings, the vertical settings, we actually lost a bit on the left, a bit on the right, and actually on the top. But the picture, the building look seems to be okay now, right? So you compare, this is before, and then this is after. Looks a lot better, isn't it, the building? Yeah. Okay, so in the past, these kind of pictures, in the past, the previous version of Photoshop before AI been introduced, in the past we have no choice but to crop. We have to crop this picture because we lost the left side and we lost the right side. So we normally in the past is we crop this picture and make it smaller. So we remove the left side and the right side. But now with the latest AI features in Photoshop, you can use the generative fill to fill up the left side and the right side as well as the sky on the top. Yeah, so there's the power of generative AI now in Photoshop, which I'm going to show you now how we're going to do that. Yeah, actually pretty simple. Just have to go to this function, lasso tools, and then you select the area that I know that has been missing. Just select, just close to the area. It's close to the area. Yeah, can you see? You guys see my mouse?
Yeah.
So make sure you select all the area that actually that's in white color. Then go back to the starting point. Okay, now it has been selected. Right, so with the dot line, so that means that the area that is missing from the sky now has been selected. Simple things. Once done that, right click your mouse. So right click your mouse and then choose this function called fill, F-I-L-L, fill. So now you see the magic happen. And that's okay. Yeah, give the AI a bit of time. Oops. Does it work? It does work, isn't it? It does work. It's just that there's the extra building on the right side. Yeah. Not perfect.
Michael, sorry. Normally, before you do any editing in camera, you can always expand the photo first, you see.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Normally do that around, expand the photo first, then you have to crop it. Then after you go to camera to adjust, straighten the building, you see. So you will not have this problem again.
Okay. So yeah, you're right. I actually forgot to expand it earlier. But even though without that, this one also can be corrected. I'll show you how to correct if it's extra. Extra here, I mean the extra building that has been introduced by the AI is all because of my selection on these sides are not precise. They are not precise, this selection here. If the selection is very precise as in like it has to be very close to the edge of the of the picture, yeah. So
but Michael, sorry, on top there they give you 3 options to choose, right? When after you generate, they give you 3 options to choose. On the right side there's 3 options, right?
Yeah, you can still use that option to
see which one is correct. You can just take that one away.
Yeah, okay, let's try to see the option whether it gives us a better. I'll generate one more time with these selections. Okay, there is the option.
There are 3 options, right? On the right hand side, there's a corner there. On the right side, surround the inside. There are 3 options there for you to choose. You scroll your cursor down on the at the extreme right corner. There should be 3 options there. You can see it.
But I don't think we have, because it's not generative fill. It's just a fill.
Okay, so you can do generative the other way. I can still do it. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I will go one more round. So the selection with the lasso tool sometimes is not precise. It's not precise. As you can see that because I'm using the mouse to select, and then the selection is actually not perfect. So the best way of selection is actually make use of the pen tool. I'll show you one more time, yeah. And with the pen tool, I guess the AI will be more. The fill will be more perfect. Okay, let's go back to the pen tools. Pen tool is this guy, yeah, with the pen. So what we need to do is that we start from the starting point, then we go all the way to the top, then all the way to here, then all the way down. Oops. You have to be inside the working picture, yeah. Okay, so and then all the way up here, then go back to the starting point. Okay, so this is my pen tools. So once I done that selection, I need to convert it to become a selection, make it as a selection. Right click, make selection, 1 pixel. So now you can see that my selection a lot more precise. So it's not like earlier when I used the hand-free method. So done that. Let's go back to right click again, and I will do back the same thing. Right click, fill, and see whether it gives us a better result. Yeah, perfect, right?
Sorry, can you see polygonal tools also? Is it the same?
Yeah, there are many other tools that I mean, there are many other ways to do it actually, seriously. Yeah. So for those beginners, maybe you want to stick to one simple method. Probably the one that I just explained is the simplest one. I mean, there are other methods like what Daniel was explaining. So once you're familiar with one method, you can always go to explore and some other methods. Yeah, if you think that those methods will be beneficial, then obviously you can. But it's all depend on, I'll say that depend on situation, depend on scenario. So some picture may be good to use this method. Some picture, earlier like I used the lasso tools. Most of the picture it works, but for this reason, this picture doesn't work because of the building on the right side is a bit more complicated. So my selection has to be very precise. But some picture doesn't need to be using the pen tool. Yeah, doesn't need to. The lasso tool will just completed the works. Yeah. So yep. So once we done this, then like what Daniel said, there's a diagonal tools and the rest. You guys can always explore. Next time I will invite Daniel to share with you and those others. Yeah. So done this, I will go back. So this is my before. This is my before. Then this is my after. So you can see a significant difference now, right? So before and after. Okay, now we save it. Okay, done. I'll close my Photoshops. And
but dotted line still there?
Dotted line? No more, yeah. Dotted line is just a selection, yeah. Okay, so definitely this picture is better than the earlier one. The earlier one from the Photoshop stacking, the buildings are all not straight, but now we have collected the buildings. Okay, perfect. So in this case, this picture should not have any more technical flaws, right? Okay, now we can start editing. Okay, like what Veron was talking about just now, the sky is a little bit too bright, so we need to darken the sky. We also need to darken the scene to make it, a lot more a night scene, right? So that's the main objective. Okay, to darken the sky. Normally for me, before I get started, I get myself started, I will check. I will just go to this masking. Actually, I don't do the rest. I will just straight away go to masking. And I will select the sky. Yeah. So once you select the sky, the AI will pretty intelligent, in selections. So the skies are the area that the sky has been selected will be turned into this pink color. So once done that, then we can adjust the exposure. Yeah. So exposure. So you look at here, if I adjust the exposure towards the left, to the extreme left, and you will notice that the building itself has got a bit of the edges of the building, you see? So it's not going to be realistic, right? So obviously we can't go all the way to the extreme left. So we can only go maybe slightly like 80 points, or sorry, minus 0.8 or 0.9, or probably minus 1. Minus 1, 1.5, can still do that. Yeah. What we do not want is actually halo lines next to the buildings. You do not want to introduce that. So I will just show you, yeah. So there are certain, once it gets to certain, you see the halo line? Yeah, you can see that, there are some lines here, just next to the buildings, where it's getting too dark. So we just do not want to introduce that. So it's best to check all this when you are bringing down the exposure. Yeah. So how to check is that make sure that you set it to 100% and check all the edges and make sure that you don't have that problems. Probably around here. Okay. Is it dark enough? Still not dark enough, right? It's still not very dark. Okay. So the next thing we can do is introduce another one, linear gradient, and then we can always darken on the top. Okay. Now, which part we are darken is that before I introduce this linear gradient, yeah. You look at here, this picture, there are some lights actually on our left side. This is our left side, right? This area has got some lights. Then this area is usually, it looks like a lot more darker, right? So this area, I mean, because yesterday night the sun actually on our far left, so it has got introduced a little bit of lights on the left side. Okay, now obviously this left side has to be a little bit brighter compared to the right side. So what I can do is that I will use the linear gradient and I will darken the right side. If I want to, I can do this way, linear gradient. So area they're affecting is the one that is in the pink color. Just a little bit, yeah. Okay, so that give our picture. Okay, it's brighter on the left side and a little bit darker on the right side. So what else can we do here?
The building on the right side is too bright, right?
The building on the right side is too bright. Okay.
Because the cloud is dark there, right? Should be darker the power.
Yes, you're probably right. Yes, because it's going to be a night scene. The building is too bright here. Yeah, what are we going to do? We're going to do it. Yeah, this is going to be very tricky.
Use the radar.
But yeah, radial filter may also darken the sky. Let's try with the radial filter. Yeah, if I go to radial filter and if I just select this plot of buildings,
Mine's the circle a bit.
Yeah. So you see that if I were to do that, that building is going to be darker for sure. But they also darken the sky, right? They also darken the sky. But we can actually eliminate this problem. The current masking, in Lightroom, the current masking has got a function called subtract. So this is our radial filter that we just selected, right? This is a radial filter we just selected, and the filter itself includes the building as well as the sky. So what we can do is to remove the sky from the filter, remove sky. So it has got a function called subtract, or by pressing this minus button. See, when you hover over the minus button, it's called subtract for mask. So click on minus, then minus the sky, minus select sky. So what it does is that the radial filter itself now exclude the sky area. Yeah. So now once you've done that, you can see that the filter is just applied on the building itself without touching the sky. So now if I were to adjust exposure, it will be, supposedly it will be just a building got affected. Right? Just a building. So it will not touch on the sky that much. We still find it very white. So let's bring down a little bit of white, then introduce a bit of black. That's how slider that you can play with. You can expand it longer, but that will not look good because the buildings on this side is only this side that actually too bright. Yeah. Okay, I think it's almost there. Right? Okay, what else do I need to do?
Is there a crane? The boom of the crane on the left hand side?
Come again, Daniel?
Is there a boom of the crane on the left hand side?
On the left hand side, is there a
crane? A boom or crane or building or what?
I think it's a staircase.
Left hand side?
Left hand side.
The color.
Oh no, this is not the crane. This is the light trail from the side. That's the side road here. Yeah, you're probably right. If you want to, we can actually remove that because it's kind of distortion. It's a
distractor also, very distracting.
Distraction, yeah. It's a bit of distraction here. I mean, if you want to remove this, we can always remove in Photoshop. Okay, let's start that. Okay. Now I think for me, the scene is still very bright. What I'm going to do is that I will darken a lot more the scene, and then I want the light trail itself to be more prominent. The light trail itself, but the trees and the rest are getting darker. Yeah. What I will do is that I will choose this guy. I hope that it's going to work. This is how I'm going to envision it. I'll choose this guy. I'll choose the trees, just the trees in the middle of the circle, in the middle of the roundabout. Yeah. Done that. Well, it's not working. Okay. So if I were to brighten if I were to do the exposure, you see that just the tree itself will become brighter. But I do not want the trees to be brighter. In fact, I want outside the trees to be darker. So what you can do is that you use this function called invert. There's an invert on top here. invert. So now invert means that our radial filter, instead of affecting the tree itself or the things inside the roundabout, now it's actually affecting things that outside the roundabout, outside the radial filter. Okay. So once I done the invert, if I push the exposure, getting slower, is it? So you can see that once I click on the invert, now it's actually affecting outside the roundabout. Okay, so the whole scene will be a lot more darker. Maybe I'll just stop it at now it's 0.81. Maybe I'll 0.70. Okay. Maybe I'll stop it here. Yeah. So you can see that the scene a lot more darker. But similarly, the roundabout is also getting darker, right? The roundabout itself is also getting darker. Okay. What we can do is that there's another function in Lightroom nowadays. It's called intersect. So what we can do to bring up the intersect function is that by pressing the Option key or the Control key on your Option key is if it's a Mac. I think Control key is if you are using a Windows. So once you press that key, you notice that previously before I press the key, you have plus and minus. Once I press the Option key on my Mac, you can see that it changed to one. It's just one box, and this is called intersect box, intersect pass. So click on the intersect. And what am I intersecting now? I think I want another radial filter, which is slightly bigger, and probably somewhere here. I hope that you guys not falling asleep looking at this. So one picture can take us half an hour probably. Yeah. Is Samsung there? Sam, how long? Yeah, we can ask Sam how long he took to process one picture. Yeah. So now I will have an intersect. Now you can see that once I'm intersecting these two radial filters, one is inside, one is outside. Now it's only affecting the roundabout. Right? It's only affecting the roundabout. Probably around here. Okay. So yeah. Other than that, little things that I will normally do apart from this is we look at all these trees. They are all same brightness. The trees down here, the trees at the side here, they are all pretty much the same brightness. What we can do is that we can make use of the radial filter again. Just take one radial filter and then just do a small one. Then bring out exposure a little bit. I think it's getting slower on my laptop. You see that? Yeah. Hello. It's not moving. You see? Yeah. So if I were to bring this radial filter down here, and also to duplicate the radial filter over here, yeah. I'm just writing selected part of the shot to make it a little bit interesting. In a way that all the lights would not be just one brightness. You will see that there will be the whole picture here. It will have a different brightness throughout the entire scene. So you will notice that it will not be a boring very boring light. I hope that you agree. Yeah. So you can see that I have some lights actually. Some part of the tree is actually a little bit darker. Some part of the tree is actually a little bit brighter. So it will not be a same brightness throughout the entire trees or all the trees. This is what we are trying to create here. Okay, I think that's about it actually. Seriously, yeah. Anything you guys want to improve on this picture, or any other flaws that you think that we can actually perfect it?
Yeah, some light in between the trees that we go forward. That will be nicer. But it's very distracting.
Some lights between the trees.
From the left to the right, the second block.
From the first to the right.
From the left to the right.
From the left to the right.
Right.
Okay.
Further down a bit.
Further down a bit.
No, further up a bit. Further up.
Further up.
Yeah, then next 2 block.
Next to 2 block. Okay.
There's one light there, right?
Oh, okay.
Normally
so you
all these that we go for, I find it very irritating.
Yeah. So these are little things that
yeah.
It's a distraction of what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
Yeah. So you find it distracting, you can always remove it. Yeah. But the whole idea is about. We started off with we have shot before the sunset or during sunset. We have shot immediately after the sunset. we also have shot during the night. So combining all these shot together, then with one, we stack them together, then we produce a final shot. Then this is a shot that we are editing now. Okay. I think to me it's pretty good. The next thing is that what you can do is that you can do some vignetting, transform. You can go for some not transform actually, effects. You can do some vignetting. Yeah. Okay, but this kind of vignetting in Photoshop is, to me, is pretty boring. Nowadays I don't use this vignetting method anymore. In the past I used to use this vignetting slider a lot. But what I found out is that if you use this vignetting slider, you will see that you notice that all the four edges, the top and the bottom, they are all vignette at the same time, right? You can't really control how much you want to vignette these four corners. So you don't have much control apart from you just put the slider left and right. So nowadays, normally I don't use that method. I will use the radial filter to do vignetting. So I'll go to here, I use radial filter. You notice I use a lot of radial filter. Okay, this radial filter, I'll bring it up. I will turn the radial filter, depend on the light source or depend on the light directions. So in this case, in this picture, our light direction is coming from the left, right? So from the left. So anything that from the left should be brighter than anything that's on the right. So I will tilt my radial filter to some sort of this kind of shape. Then I will invert it. Invert means whatever changes that apply to this radial filter will be outside the radial filter. So once done that, then I will reduce exposure. Very slow. Yeah. You see? So this method, I find it a lot more, much easier for me to control where the vignette will be applied. So like I mentioned just now, the light is actually coming from left. So it will be not realistic if the left side, main corner, top corner looks darker, looks dark. It doesn't give us that kind of realistic. So if I were to use this kind of radial filter, I can control. That means that anything on the right side, on the left side is still brighter. Anything on the right side and the rest will be darker. This is, yeah. So how dark you want it is all depend on the slider that we push here. I'll just push a little bit, not too much. Yeah. Still about 1 point. Okay. All right. So let's compare our picture before and after. Yeah. So the one on the right side is before, the one on the left side is after. Okay, any questions, guys? I think it's about an hour. Okay. Do you find it useful?
Yes.
Can you follow first of all?
Yeah, I will try.
Yeah, can follow. But I have it recorded, so obviously you guys can play back our discussion tonight. What I'm sharing here is my workflow. It may not be the perfect workflow, but this is something that I normally do for picture like this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You okay, guys?
Thank you, Michael.
I will upload it tomorrow. Then you guys can always play back. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Bye bye.